Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Geoffrey Silvala, working for Actionaid as the Business Development Manager.
Okay, sir, we request if you can just come across the microphone. You are not audible enough.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Okay, maybe you may just speak up.
Good. I am Geoffrey Silvala, working for Actionaid as the Business Development Manager.
Noted with thanks, Mr. Sizala.
So these are my colleagues on the call who are going to be able to respond to any questions, clarifications, but are also going to be able to chime in as the presentations are going on. So we have a project as Actionaid Zambia that is being funded by SIDA. Once again, the name of the project is Strengthening Civil Society Effectiveness in Promoting Good Governance and Increasing Citizens' Awareness and Demand for Human Rights in Zambia. This project is being implemented in 7 provinces here in Zambia, and the model of implementation is direct activities. So we have direct activities that we implement as Actionaid, and the second model is sub-granting. So we have money that we give out to community-based organizations, social movements, and also larger NGOs. This year, we are just going to be focusing on working with community-based organizations and social movements. Some of the partners, the larger NGOs that we were working with last year, we're going to proceed in working with them. That is why we haven't advertised for a standard grant. The project is centered around 4 objectives, and those objectives are around civic participation and state accountability. So we want to see more accountability and transparency when it comes to public finance management, and we also want to see our duty bearers being held to account. The second one is around climate justice and extractive governance. We want to see accountability in the extractive sector, but we also want to see that our policies around environmental safety are enacted, and we've got advocacy in that area. The third objective is around access and demand for reproductive health rights services for young people. We want to see young people demanding for their sexual and reproductive health services. We want to see young people demanding for their reproductive health services and holding duty bearers to account. The third objective is on strengthening the capacity of our partners. And our partners is our rights holders, the sub-grantees whom we are going to award money to. Ideally, we're not looking for organizations that are already well established. We're looking for organizations who need institutional strengthening. That way we'll be able to strengthen their capacities. It could be internal systems, internal controls, policies, methodologies when it comes to implementation. We strengthen those areas so that by the time the grant comes to an end, we are going to leave you better than we found you. Those are the objectives on the project. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Geoffrey, who's going to run us through the information session, giving background into the 2 different types of grants that we have advertised for. I can see a hand. In case you've got a question or a comment, for now, you can just type in the chat box. We've got colleagues here who are going to be able to respond. Additionally, we're going to have a Q&A session where you can still ask your question. So I'm handing over to my colleague now, Geoffrey. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm that you're able to hear me clearly. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much, and you are all welcome to this information session. As earlier introduced, I'm Geoffrey Sizala, working for Actionaid as the Business Development Manager. So I'm just going to run you through the project that has been advertised and the outline of the presentation. Just briefly talk about the Actionaid, but I think my colleague Ebri talked about what the organization is all about, then the core proposal, objectives, and maybe the type of grants we have, then the evaluation, selection criteria, and also important dates sometimes which we follow for this core. Okay. So in terms of the background, Actionaid Zambia is part of the Actionaid Global Federation, sharing a common value and also aims to drive social change toward a just, equitable, and sustainable society. So really for us, we look at whatever intervention in which you are working on, be it a social movement, community, or organization like the CBOs, NGOs. Our work is to see a just and equitable society and also very sustainable. So basically, this sustainability could be in terms of shift toward the systems and also even issues to do with resources. And basically, we want to see also that these resources are equitably distributed, especially in Zambia, where we have like 10 provinces. And within the 10 provinces, we also have different groupings. We have young people, we have got women, we have got youths, persons living with disabilities. So that's just basically our stance as an institution. Actionaid works with poor and excluded women and young people. So these are the primary target groups in our organization, and as well as also children. Their organization movements to address the structural causes of social injustice, gender inequality, and poverty. So basically, we know that the social injustice can create gender imbalance and many other adverse effects on the life of many people, subsequently leading to abject poverty. So our vision is just a just, equitable, sustainable Zambia in which every person enjoys the freedom from poverty and oppression for the enjoyment of their rights to a life of dignity. And our mission is to promote social justice, gender equality, poverty eradication for the people living in poverty, exclusion, marginalized in society by working with the people living in poverty, their communities, Zambia organization, activities, social movements for a just sustainability. So you can see there that we work with quite a range of diverse groupings, social movements, CBOs. We are also working with CSOs, activists, and just basically to say that we are very inclusive. We also, like our partners, we want also to appreciate our values. Mutual respect is very important for us. Equity and justice, they are very important. Integrity, and also solidarity with the people living in poverty, courage of conviction, independency, humility. So we are like, when we form this partnership, we want to see that at least within the organization, people are able to respect each other, including even the society they work with. We know that even the resources, they have to be shared equitably, and also there's justice, integrity in the management of affairs, financial resources, and any other programs. Basically, when you say at solidarity, basically we're looking at them, all the organizations that will be working with, they understand the need to basically support those people who are marginalized and identify with their struggles. Courage of conviction, basically we're looking at people be able to speak on issues that affect them without fear or favor. Then the independency, just because we have partnered, we are not going to police you, but we'd love to see that you are also working independently, and so is the community you are working with. And also the aspect of humility is very important. So these are our values that all the partners we work with, they will need to align with them. Our strategic priorities. So as an institution, AA is implementing a country strategic paper. We started from 2023 to 2028. The Actionaid Zambia country strategic paper focuses on 3 priorities, basically about environmental sustainability and climate justice. So this is where we do any intervention related to issues around humanitarian, climate change, agriculture, and any other activities that probably can be linked to issues around environmental. Then the aspect of number 2, like priority, is civic participation and state accountability. Here we are looking at the participation of the citizens in decision making with a focus on the local government structures. And basically we are looking at the effective participation of youths and women and even persons with disability. So we are also looking at issues to do with how the structures are effectively promoting the meaningful participation. It's not just about participating, but meaningful participation, which allows the marginalized basically influencing policies, the formulation of legal framework, bylaws, and any other issues that affect them. Then the second tier under the same thematic area is state accountability, where we do work related to social accountability. Basically, we're looking also how government mobilize resources as well as utilizing. The issue of accountability is very important for us, and how we engage, and also how society is also engaged to ensure that they monitor and also they take part in terms of ensuring that issues affecting them, they are also taking part. So basically, in terms of the social sectors we are working on, we are focusing on in education, agriculture, health, governance, they are main and issues to do with maybe green economy, they are very important for us. Then transformative youth-led, this is where we just have a specific priority where young people can engage on issues that affect them across the different themes which we have outlined. Could be climate, could be youth employment, could be governance in terms of participation, and it could be issues related to agriculture, could be issues related to the blue economy, and that's the water sector, and so forth and so on. So these are thematic areas, and any organization that is applying, they really need to be aligned to these thematic areas. Our approach and ways of working, so we use the human rights-based approach and its pillar. This is basically as it supports build knowledge and also skills of collective agencies of people that spearhead evidence-based lobbying and also advocates for shifting of power into people's favor. So basically, we are looking at transformation of these powers from the people who have been holding this power for quite some time. Then human rights-based approach, it's got also its pillar, which should be very much alive with, and talking about capacity development, advocacy, solidarity, and also offering alternative. These are very important pillars. We also believe in local initiatives and also capabilities to ensure sustainability. So when we fund local partners, our main key at the end of the day to see that there's sustainability beyond the project which we are going to fund. Innovation around how organization basically will stand on their own beyond that funding. So AIZ is basically committed to strengthen its work through partnership, and be less of an implementer, but more of a visible capacity builder and also facilitator of change. We normally ensure that interlinkages across priorities, programs, and also projects is very much adhered to. We also ensure that initiatives are consistent from the local to national level, adequately feeding to the federation. So even as you apply for this, we want to see how you are telling a story that links to across these different things. We do also recognize that the developmental challenges posed by patriarchy are quite real and affects the marginalized grouping, especially women. AAZ applies a feminist lens and also puts women and young people at the center of driving transformative change. So even as you write, we want to see how the gender aspect is coming out strongly in your concept. So like I talked earlier on, the HRB has got its pillars, empowerment. This is basically where we look at about also building critical awareness about constituencies in terms of their situation. Consultation is very important. Organize and mobilize individuals and collective action with us supporting and also strengthening organization and movements to monitor public policy and budgets. So campaign building, research, evidence-based. So basically we're looking at advocacy, lobbying, mass mobilization, mass communication to engage. And I wanted to emphasize here that advocacy has got so many facets. Sometimes you want just to advocate, you want to lobby, you want to dialogue, you want to campaign, and you should be very clear in terms of how the strategy you are going to use. The third pillar is solidarity, basically sponsoring children and also donation money, linking the different struggles, taking action through demonstration or letter writing, using communication to raise the visibility of an issue, and also building broader alliances. Alternatives, we also work with people living in poverty and our partner and allies, basically finding and popularizing new ways of doing things, challenging the dominant paradigm, promoting innovation and also piloting, innovating, and also being solution-oriented. Basically here, sometimes when we talk about the aspect of utilization of resources, we go in the community and drill water at a cheaper price, but with the same quality. Sometimes that's where we now say that demonstrating alternative. So these are the pillars of the HRB, which is our Bible. Our feminist principle, basically, we believe that no one should be judged, valued, or discriminated based on their gender identity, identifies patriarchal male power that justifies women's subordination, understands social justice cannot be achieved without gender equality. So these are very important principles that as partners you pay attention to. It is a call for proposal. So why do we normally do this call for proposal? Actionaid Zambia is pleased basically to announce the call for proposals under the Swedish International Cooperation Agency, supported strengthening civil society, effectiveness in promoting good governance and increasing citizens' awareness and the demand for human rights in Zambia, for local CSOs in Zambia. So this is basically the scope of this work which we want to do. And the mission at the end of the day is basically the overall goal of the project is to increase citizen awareness and demand for human rights in Zambia. So if you are going to work partner with us, you want to see that you are contributing to this big picture which you want to achieve. Okay. The project duration basically is from 2024 to 2028. And coverage for the core, Eastern, Southern, Chingan, Northwestern, Western province as primary coverage, while Lusaka and Copper Belt province will be targeted to complement ActionAid's already existing intervention. Okay.
Thank you so much, Geoffrey. Geoffrey is going to continue. I just wanted to chime in. So on the coverage for the call, this is the entire coverage for the project. These are the provinces that the project is being implemented. But for this particular call, we are mainly looking for partners from Eastern, Southern, Mchinga, Northwestern, and Western provinces. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So thank you. So in terms of the objective and results, so if you look at objective number 1, you have to enhance civic participation and accountability. Basically, here we're looking at improved governance and public delivery in Zambia through enhanced citizen civic participation and state accountability. Number 2, results. Basically, we are looking at strengthening CSO and citizens' role in promoting transparency and accountability in public finance management and institutional governance. Increased participation of women and young people in the electoral processes. Election provides a fair and secure environment for candidates and voters, ensuring equitable competition, freedom from intimidation, illegal influence, or violence. Advocate for protection of women's rights, young people in the extractive industries, by promoting effective and inclusive citizen participation in natural resources, governance, and climate justice by the year 2028. So basically here we're looking at all our partners, BCSO, activists, movements that have strengthened their capacity in holding government accountable in the enforcement of policy and regulation for sustainable natural resource management and climate justice by the year 2028. And the number 3 is basically advocate for sexual reproductive health rights for adolescent women and marginalized people in Zambia. Access to better health is promoted through strengthened capacity of CSO and also citizens to demand for accountability in the provision of quality health care. I'll now quickly run through the grant types, and I'll be very slow. I know we have not advertised for some of the grants, but in ActionAid normal under this intervention or action, we've had the grants, standard grants. This is a long-term funding instrument with partnership duration ranging from 1 year to 4 years. And under this grants, basically, we provide advances to grantee upon verification of financial and programs qualification for advances. This grant type is issued to organizations with long-term activities that requires advance funding and also have sufficient financial and program capacities to receive advance funding. This grant type will provide support for the direct implementation to the tune of 3 million to 9 million. This type of grants only will be issued to on ASZ's request for proposal. So all the proposal under standard, the grants under standard grant, they can only be acquired upon advertising. The number 2 type of grants is innovative grants. This type of grant is intended for organizations, individuals, and groups who demonstrate innovation and their mission, goals, and objectives are aligned to the project objectives and results framework, which I was just earlier on talking about. This grant type will normally provide for support for direct implementation to the tune of 500 and maximum of 1 million. This is the part of the current innovation. Okay. So this time around also we don't have the innovation. The grant is only provided to partners for a minimum of 6 months and also maximum of 2 years. And this type of grant will only be issued on an AAZ request for proposal. So this type now, the community action grant. So this is now where you'll be applying for. And I will try to spend much time so that we can all get it. So community action grant. These are action-oriented grants which provide financial and capacity building assistance to community groups based on clear goals, objectives, outcomes, and proposed innovation in line with the project objectives and results area. So your framework, your work frame should tell a story that basically from the output objectives subsequently to the outcomes. You are telling a story that is compelling and is going to help you achieve the intended results. The type of support will be for short to medium term high impact activities intended to respond to immediate and long-term needs of communities in the program target area. This grant type will provide activity-based advances payment to community-based organization for delivery and achievement of agreement milestones. This grant type will provide support for direct implementation to the tune of minimum 150 and maximum 700,000 kwacha. The grant is only provided to partners for a minimum of 6 months and maximum of 1 year, 6 months. And again, this type of grants can only be issued or granted upon AA request, like the current call for proposal which was issued. Social movement grant. So the social movement grant also is currently running in the advert. So a social movement grant will be a rapid response mechanism used to provide financial and technical assistance to movement and defenders of human rights. This grant type will provide activities based on advance payments to social movements for delivery and achievement of agreed milestones. This type of grant requires objectives and clearly outlined outcomes for the fund to be made available. And this grant type will provide support for the direct implementation to the tune of minimum 100,000 and maximum 300. Minimum 3 months, the implementation period, and the maximum 1 year. Again, this can only be when you note that this grant is provided on a rolling basis. That means it's available throughout the year, depending on your innovations. I'll talk about the evaluation criteria. So there are a number of things which you look at. Feasibility of the design and also approach. Basically, there we are looking at the quality and also feasibility of the application in terms of appropriateness of the proposed methodology, innovativeness, and the work plan for achieving project objectives will offer a significant impact on civic participation, corruption, environmental protection, climate justice, and also health rights. So in line with those things I was talking about for the project, evaluation of approaches either proven to be effective or new and tried approaches with promises. Okay. Proposed mechanism for monitoring and also evaluation with them. Objective measurable indicator will also be appraised. Number two, the key things we're also looking at impact on the target groups. The extent to which the proposed activities correspond to the needs of the target groups and would direct benefit them. Also, the degree to which it would directly or indirectly stimulate their organizations and also resource to replicate, develop, or implement activities supporting the objectives and also priorities of AAZ. Number three, we are looking at management and the programmatic capacity. Evidence of the capability to undertake and also accomplish proposed activities. Appraisal will be based on principally on references check by AAZ. The background, qualification, reputation, appropriateness, and also skills of each key personnel. And the track record, reputation, achievement, including development of self-sufficient, sustainable activities of the organization involved. D, we are looking at the sustainability, financial self-reliance. And this is very, very important also. The extent to which the funded activities will result in building and also strengthening the capacity of communities and local CSO. Whether the activities itself is sustainable or will stimulate sustainability of the organization. E, we are looking at cost efficiency. Cost efficient. The degree to which budgeting is clear, reasonable, and reflects best use of organizational and grant resources. This is very important, and we need to pay attention. The past performance, both from Actionaid, if you are a partner before, and maybe the other organization where you have received grants before, previously or ongoing experiences implementing similar activities. This examines an applicant's track record, which is critical factor in increasing the capacity of the grantee to implement the activities. G, cost share. The local contribution reflects commitment to the project by the targeted beneficiaries and local institutions. So one also to look at innovation, you receive funds from Actionaid, but we know that it might be not adequate. But what other innovation you are also contributing, ways you are contributing to the achievement of the goals. Gender awareness, the extent to which the funded activities include a gender component or represent a strong commitment to women as beneficiaries. Within the women, it should be deliberate to know that they are young women, they are women living with disability. And how you also innovate in terms of promoting that gender quality is very important. I spoke about the human rights-based approach and its pillars. The extent in which the proposed intervention are responding to the needs of the marginalized, excluded, and people living in poverty, and putting their interest at the core of intervention is very important. And the last one, references. Applicant must be able to supply the recommendation or reference center from any of the foreign reputable organization or government agency department. Please note, this is very important. It can be a letter attached. Criteria for evaluation. Individual human rights defenders, community-based organizations, coalitions, CSOs and NGOs with a proven record of innovative approaches. Creating initiatives, innovation to address any of the above thematic areas. Proposed actions must be in line with the human rights-based approach, must be willing to work with Actionaid hub offices. So under this call, we have got hub in Southern and Eastern, Northwestern. must also have a traceable physical address and also bank account. Must be non-political organization. Applicants must be able to supply recommendations or reference data from any of the reputable NGOs or government agencies. Community-based organization with membership of less than not 20 people, inclusive of youth and women with a proven record of community engagement, demonstrate capacity to work with people living with disabilities. CBOs should demonstrate a leadership structure with youth and women involvement in the leadership structure. This is very, very important. That one was for individual human rights defender, the previous one. This one is for CBOs. Creative initiatives, innovation to address any of the following. So to enhance civic participation, accountability, inclusive democracy by the year 2028, to advocate for the protection of women's rights, young people in the extractive by promoting effective and also inclusive citizen participation in natural resource governance and climate justice by the year 2028, to advocate for sexual and reproductive health rights for adolescent, women, marginalized people by the year 2028. Community action grants, must be willing to work with Actionaid Hub office on activity based. Must be traceable, must have traceable addresses and bank account. Must be non-political aligned organization and purely community-driven organization. Applicant must be able to supply the recommendations and reference data from any of the following NGO operation operating within the locality, traditional leaders, network community development, and social welfare. This is for the community action grant. Social movement grant, shared vision and purpose. The movement should have a clear defined vision, mission, and purpose that resonate with its members and address specific social issues or challenges aligned to the project goal. Grassroots support. The movement should have a broad base of support from individuals, community directly affected by the social issues. It should demonstrate the ability to mobilize and engage a significant number of people who are passionate about the cause. Organizational structure. Although not legally registered, the movement should have some form of organizational structure, even in informal, that enables effective coordination, communication, and also decision-making structure. This is very important for us. Non-violent, peaceful approach. The movement should adhere to non-violent and peaceful methods of advocacy. Protest, promoting dialogue, cooperation, respect for human rights, and also the rule of law. Social movement grants, inclusive and diverse. The movement should strive to be inclusive, welcoming people from diverse backgrounds, including different gender, age, ethnicity, religion, socio-economic groups. It should also ensure participation of marginalized and vulnerable groups. Grassroots leadership. The movement should also be driven by grassroots leadership. In most cases, we find that the leadership is in Osaka, but then they are just mobilizing the leaders at grassroots. But we want to see that there is the inclusive grassroots leadership, giving voices and decision-making power to the affected community. Leaders should emerge from within the movement, reflecting the diversity of its members. Public awareness and engagement. The movement should demonstrate a commitment to raising public awareness about the social issues effectively communicating its goals and message to the wider audience. It should effectively engage with the public, media, and other stakeholders to create a dialogue and generate support. We continue there, the social movement sustained activism. The movement should have a track record of sustained activism, demonstrating long-term commitment to the cause. This can be evidenced through history of campaigns, protests, advocacy, efforts, and also grassroots initiatives aimed at addressing social issues. Impact and achievement. The movement should be able to demonstrate tangible impact and achievements in advancing its goals and objectives. This can include policy change, social transformation, increased public awareness, or improvement in the lives of affected individuals or communities. Transparency and accountability. The movement should exhibit transparency in its operation, decision-making process, ensuring accountability to its member and public. Application process. Ensure you use the appropriate template provided for in each grant. Observe instruction, including the timelines. Provide the required information accordingly. Observe submission date and time. Please, this is very, very important. And in order for us to be fair to everyone, we always adhere to these principles. These timelines, I think they were just for the last. I'll allow Chika now to speak to the timelines with for this particular call. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Geoffrey, for that elaborate presentation. With regards to timeline, today, as you are all aware, is the day for the information session. The deadline for the application is on Tuesday next week by 5 p.m. However, we have got a phone number and an email address that you can call for support or send an email for any additional support you may need. The next steps after the application is the vetting process. This will be done by Actionaid, but also by an external body whom we call the Project Accountability Team. Thereafter, we're going to have communication to partners who will be shortlisted for due diligence. And after the due diligence process, based on the findings and the reports, we are going to have a final short list of organizations and social movements we are going to partner with for the next 1 year.
The question here.
Okay.
Chica, they're saying share the number and be aware that it's in the aware. So they're saying share the number and email where they can send it. You just. So Madam Chika will share the the email and also the number. Chika, if you can share the email and the number. Okay. Okay. So there is the email and the number. So there are quite a number of hands. Ben, then there's John. Please, you can go ahead and ask your question. Ben, you'll be the first one, then followed by John. will be the third person. So Ben, go ahead, ask your question. We can't hear you, Ben. Okay, John, you can go ahead. If you can. Hello, John. Sorry, if you are speaking, those who have raised your hand, we can't hear you. Maybe let's go to Lewis. Lewis, you can go ahead.
Can I go ahead? I think you've now unmuted us. Yeah, Geoffrey?
John, go ahead. We can hear you.
Thank you so much, Geoffrey. Thank you for that elaborate, detailed presentation. I think we've understood. I just have maybe one question to ask. I heard the geographical jurisdiction that the core has come with. For us who are based in Lusaka, and we're able to partner with CBOs and CSOs that are based in locations that are being considered for the core, is it allowed for us to partner, or is it allowed for us in Lusaka to implement a project in provinces which are under consideration, or we just have to be physically present or located in those areas? Because that's where in Lusaka, but we say we want to implement the project, for instance, in one of those provinces that are being listed for consideration. Is it allowed for us to apply to implement the project in any of those 4 provinces that have been listed for consideration? Thank you.
Okay. That is noted. We can go now to Ben Cole.
Thank you so much, sir. I think everything is clear. I wanted also to ask some question. Our organization is based in Lusaka, but I wanted to ask if also organization that in Lusaka, if they apply on the for the project, and then they can apply on the listed areas, are they going to be considered or not?
Okay, that is noted. We can go to Remy. Riemann.
Much. Thank you so much. It was quite an elaborative presentation. Thank you so much, Geoffrey. My great concern basically was for the fact that my organization is Lusaka based for sure, but currently it's not registered. And if it is not registered now, is it possible that we would involve a fiscal sponsor who would then be a fiscal sponsor for our fans? If at any point we're considered in the once we apply, is that possible? Are organizations that are unregistered allowed to actually apply for the grants?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can go to Agnes in the spirit of promoting gender. Agnes Spirit.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, but speak up a bit.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, so as Northwestern Province is one of the provinces that are being covered for this particular grant, I was asking, is it only limited to Solwezi or other districts within the province can apply? And also, the question concerning radio stations being partners or stakeholders, do we work directly with Actionaid, or maybe we have to identify organizations that have been given the grants to work with?
Sorry, the last part, Madam, just if you can come, working with Actionaid, maybe if you can repeat, sorry, we want to get it clear.
Okay, so I asked the question on the community radio station being able to apply for the grants. And I was told a radio station can only be a partner or a stakeholder to any of the organizations applying. So are we partners or stakeholders with you guys, or do we have to go directly to the organizations that get these grants? Or is there a connecting process where Actionaid says, oh, you can actually engage these particular people and the like?
Okay, that is clear.
Okay.
Frederick and Chiwe. Then we'll try and address some of the questions.
Yes, Frederick, good afternoon, panelists. That's an interesting presentation, very elaborative. We are an NGO in the remote of Eastern Province, particularly in Chipata. We've been registered, like formally registered 2 months ago now. Most of our activities are funded or out of pockets, but from just our funds. So my question is, would you reconsider, because one of the criteria I saw is that we must be maybe a running organization for 2 years plus. Would you reconsider application from an NGO like ours, who have been just been running for barely 2 months?
Okay.
Hello?
Noted. Thank you very much, Mr. Frederick. Was Ednala or
Good afternoon, Geoffrey.
Ednala, do you have a question from Pelham?
Yes. Can you hear me?
No, you are very faint. We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
No. You are very faint.
Very faint. How about now?
You are very faint. Maybe allow us to bring on board Emmanuel Msonda and Hataso. Then we'll come back to you. Okay. So we'll try and address some of these critical questions. So the first one was in the geographical area, isn't it? So the geographical area, as you know, even as we were entering into this partnership with SIDA, we also indicated the area of operations. And as such, any changes also needs to be communicated with our cooperating partner. So the the geographical area always remain the same, as long as within the southern province, or maybe eastern or northwestern, all you need to do is indicate if you are operating within the area, those locality. Basically, you just need to clearly indicate if you've been 2 districts, 3 districts, specific words in your area where you'll be operating. But at this time, basically just to change and maybe add another province, it will be quite challenging. Then for organization that are Lusaka based, like I said in my presentation, you need to demonstrate that you have got presence in that area where you are operating at local level. And even if you are a social movement, within your structure, you need to demonstrate that there's the local leadership is integrated in the governance structure. If you are a loose movement, let's say a social movement or a CBOs, and that is also cost effective in terms of implementation. So that's basically what we are trying to do. And this goes even to the newly formed organization. As long as you demonstrate capacities, you have the systems in place. Okay. So I can still, even as I address some of these things to go to some of the presentation which I was basically making, so that we can also make difference. But for a social movement, all we need is to make sure that you demonstrate that you are. So as you can see, for community grants, must be willing to work with Actionaid Hub Office, must have a traceable physical address and bank account, must be a non-political organization, a purely community-driven organization. Applicants must be able to supply recommendation letters. All this is very important. So basically what we are trying to say is that as long as you are not registered maybe 2 months ago, then that presents some red flag. But if you have been registered maybe 5 months, 6 months, above maybe 4 months, then that's also a great basically for us. Then for community radio, we have been also, we have a long-term partnership with SIDA Zambia. You can also engage SIDA Zambia, because they have been directing, also contracting some of the community radio in areas where they are implementing the actions. And but this is not to say that you should not apply. You can apply, but you also need to engage with SIDA Zambia. Yeah. So that's because most of the SIDA Zambia's mandate is also to capacitate the local radios. Okay. I will allow now my colleague Chika to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Geoffrey. I just want to echo what Geoffrey already mentioned. When it comes to our areas of operation and whether you should have physical and operational presence, for CBOs, you should have a physical and an operational presence in the province. Oh, I'm being told to speak slower. Thank you, Eddie. I'll speak slower. For CBOs, that's community-based organizations, you should have physical and operational presence in the province and district you are applying for. If district is not workable, you should have presence in that particular province. When it comes to registration, For a social movement, it's not mandatory that it should be registered. You can make reference to the advert that we shared that has got the criteria that we're going to be looking at. So a social movement, it's okay if you're registered or not. For a community-based organization, yes, we require registration for more than 2 years. And if this is problematic, you can explore other alternatives like partnering with another organization and see how you can co-implement. Agnes asked a question on whether we are only limited to Solwezi for Northwestern. The answer is no. Yes, we have a hub in Solwezi, but we are open to the entire Solwezi district. You also asked a question on the radio station, whether a radio station on its own can apply. As Geoffrey mentioned, yes, we have a long-term partnership with MISA, and MISA are working with radio stations. So that's the model you can adopt. You can identify a CBO or social movement the radio station would like to work with. You co-design the concept note and co-populate the grant application so that whatever you're going to put in there is going to respond to what you intend to do as the radio station and what you intend to do as the CBO or social movement, then apply that way, but not the radio station on its own apply.
Yeah. So I think now we'll go to Chester. I think all of the other colleagues who have given you the platform. I don't know if we have adequately answered your questions. So let's go to Chester and Wilfred.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Chester Chimanda, and I'm from the Youth Movement for HIV, TB, SRH Advocacy in Zambia. And we have been in operation for 3 years. So my concern was, will there be need for an external audited account? And also, I wanted to get clarity. You made mention that with these specific areas that you have called for application, are we able to utilize the chapters that we have? Because as a network organization, we have chapters in different provinces that are in operation where our projects are being implemented. So we usually issue an affiliation certificate from the secretariat, which is in Lusaka. Possibly when applying, should we utilize the main certificate, or we can utilize the chapter certificate that we usually issue to them?
Okay. So thank you very much. Yes, for organization that has received bigger grants and we are carrying out auditing, which that would be even an added advantage to demonstrate that you have the ability to manage resources effectively. You can use the chapter recommendation, but it will be important also for you to get external recommendation, because the chapter recommendation is within the structure and the network. So love for other external partners that work with you also to recommend and ensure that they also put a voice to show that you are working with other stakeholders. Could be traditional leaders, government officials. Yeah. So that, did we answer your question, Mr. Chester?
Sorry, before I respond, Chester, also in the advert, we have added an eligibility criteria. So when it comes to audited accounts, we require 2 management letters and 2 audited accounts, if those are available. That's the eligibility criteria for a community-based organization.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, maybe James, but it seems all of you who have your hand raised had given you the opportunity. James, do you have any submission or query?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm looking at all these In your submission, criteria that are required for one to qualify, there are some organizations, especially rural organizations, that do not have not received funding and they have survived on the donations from pockets well wishers. Don't you think it's a sort of a disqualification for them? You are drawing a line for them not to benefit or maybe being uplifted, because in your preamble you said you would wish to work with the organization and help them. By the time the project is ending, at least you leave them somewhere. The second question, I think you didn't answer correct. You didn't answer the full answer, especially
Thank you for that question.
Where she was asking, is it just Solwezi? What I wanted to know, is it Solwezi or maybe the whole Western Province?
For Western Province, maybe be clear on that one.
So when it comes to area of operation, we are looking at Northwestern Province. You don't have to be based in Solwezi, but we are looking for social movements and CBOs who are based in Northwestern Province.
Okay. Then the other question, Mr. James, some sort of accountability is very important. Whether you are a network member, as long as you are receiving donation, even those members of the network, they need some sort of accountability. That just shows to us that probably you are accountable as a network. And as such, basically, it just helps us to probably appreciate you. And I think in my presentation, I also mentioned that some organization, because of that, sometimes hiccup, you have not received any huge funding. There's also innovation to work with you on activity-based. And then on that, whilst we are working on activity-based, then we start now building your capacity until such a time when we feel like you are able to receive a huge amount of funds, maybe for a quarter, maybe for 6 months, maybe a year, something like that. So throughout we do, and when we do the evaluation, we do also look at what are some of the capacity needs, which we document and agree with you how we are going to support you to leave you better than we found you. Have we addressed your question, Mr. James Piri?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Petros Nyangu.
I'm Petros Nyangu, a member of RCJ, that is Restoration Community Justice in Kanchiwa Mchinga Province. Sorry, I've just joined the meeting at the challenge with the network, but however, I followed the presentation and I'm just trying to come up with a question, which I'll do it maybe in 5 minutes time. I just want to correct some data here and there. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Douglas? I think after Mr. Douglas, unless there's really someone, the burning question, we might call it a day. So over to you, Mr. Douglas, with your submission. Mr. Douglas, you can unmute your mic or wait, unmute his mic.
Okay, maybe I come in first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, just on echoing on what Mr. James had asked about organization that has been in existence and they've never received funds before, especially that maybe they've been utilizing their own funds. And maybe in cases where we would say that their accounts have never been used before, quite okay, they've got a running account. You said that you have activities which you do, And after you see how they perform with those activities, if I got you well, then you help them in the way in quarterly, if I heard you well. Are those activities available like for application basis, or in what way do you offer those activities to do with those particular organizations? Thank you.
So, Mr. Mchima, the way we are working, when you submit your concept and we are satisfied with the way you have structured the methodology, the activities, so if we see that you have probably, maybe you are lacking in one way or the other, so to minimize the risk, especially in terms of financial management, so we place you on what we call activity-based. So maybe we can give you implement 2 activities, you retire all the finances, we are satisfied, we evaluate from finance and from program, then again, we disburse some more funds. So then whilst we are doing that, we are also offering, giving you technical support.
Then
Is that
the last
clear?
one. Are you
Geoffrey.
available?
Yes.
Yes. Are you available, for example, after this is done, after this meeting is done? So when the organization will be drafting this before the end, before the due date comes in, is the AAZ available for consultation? Thank you.
Not necessarily like giving you details, because we want to be to offer fair to everyone. But in that email we have submitted and the phone number. If you want to any specific query, you can always call at that same number and email and ask your question, and the team will be more than happy to support you or respond to your questions.
Sorry, I have a question. Hello, Geoffrey, I have a question from here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, my name is Michael. I'm from the northern part of Zambia. My question is, first I want to recognize and appreciate your presentation, though I had a challenge with the network.
Thank you.
Yeah. In an event that maybe there is an NGO operating probably in Lusaka, now it has some branches in provinces, and that organization has given an autonomy to those provincial officers. Are they eligible to apply as well as individual officers, though affiliated to the main organization?
Yes, they can apply as long as they meet all the criteria. They have got audited books, just as long as they meet all the criteria that has been set in the advert, they can apply.
All right, thank you so much.
Sorry, sir, I have a question. This is Mr. Kennedy Chirwa.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Eastern Regional Youth, Eastern Province, Chipata. My question is on budget allocation. Do we have any standard where it says for administrative cost a certain percentage and a certain percentage directed to the actual activities? Do we have any recommendations with regards to that?
I think set 70 budget. Yeah, operation.
Yes.
It's a 30 to 70%. So 30% goes to administration, then 70 for programs.
Right.
That is
Good afternoon.
That is the ratio in terms of allocations. So 30% can go to administration, then 70% to programs.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Geoffrey. How are you?
The chat box.
I'm great. How are you, madam?
I'm great. My name is Claudia Kapila. So I'm from an organization called Sisterhood for Health Equality in Zambia. She's in short. So we have an office in Lusaka, but we have been working in Kabwe, Monze, and recently started working in Mazabuka as well, which is the southern province. So I'm hearing the talk about coverage when it comes to provinces. Does that mean that we can only work in Choma and not Monze or Mazabuka? And then another question I wanted to ask was on the audited financials and registration. So we've been registered since 2020. We've been operating since 2021, but registered in 2022. And we have our audited financials for 2024 and are currently going through an audit for our activities, which we did in 2025, because we are some sort of an activity-based organization working with marginalized women. So if we only have 1 year audited financials, which is 2024, does that mean that we're not eligible to apply? Thank you. I submit.
Sure. So thank you very much. When we say Southern Province, it means you can cover any district within the Southern Province. But you need to demonstrate that you have got structures in that areas and you are rooted. And with audited, you can right now we can submit for 2024, 2023, but you can, if you, for example, you have engaged an auditor, if there's a letter of engagement to demonstrate that there's someone working on your audited books, you can also attach those so that as proof to see that you are doing your audit.
Great.
And if you have got a letter from those auditors, they can also, you can attach it.
Just a ride, Mr. Geoffrey, on that question, which the earlier speakers just asked. I think I just wanted to get clarity as well. I thank you so much for the presentation and the clarification that you are giving, but I just want clarity. In some of the information that you shared in the requirements, there's where there's a specification of a district like Southern Province, there is Choma. And then our office is actually based in Lusaka, but we have got presence in Southern Province. Specifically, we've done Livingstone and Zimba. So I just want to be clear. Does it mean that we can continue, since we have got a track record of having implemented the activities in Zimba and Livingstone? Can we still do that in as much as we are based in Lusaka? But
you can cover any district in that.
Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mr. Godfrey. Geoffrey.
Come again?
Good afternoon, Mr. Geoffrey.
Okay.
Question. So I was going through the application and I'm noticing there's Western Province. But as the call is going on, I'm not here in Western Province, and now I'm panicking a bit. So asking myself, is Western Province still there or not? That's the first question. Then the second question is also along the audited financial documents. In a case where an organization is being funded by another organization and you're audited, that it's funded by...
Hi, sorry, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. We last heard you at the audited accounts.
Okay, so my question is, in an instance where you are being funded by another organization, but you're not yet audited, in this place, can this organization send in their bank statements as proof to show that they are being funded by another organization?
So maybe you need to be clear when you say that you are being funded by another organization. It's same like Actionaid funding you. So whether it's on activity based, maybe that organization, they need to write, maybe is it a cover letter to demonstrate that for the period they have been working with you, you have subsequently managed the finances effectively. And I would assume that that organization will be also audited. But all we need is some demonstration of some sort that you are very accountable in terms of the finances you have been managing.
Okay, then on the Western Province, is still there, right?
Yes, we are still there.
Yeah, and just an addition is when we're asking for audited accounts, we are not questioning whether you have got money or not. But what an audit is going to do is it's going to test your financial controls, your finance systems against what you have in your policy and how that's enhancing accountability, transparency, and student financial management. So that's why we're asking for the audited accounts, not to see whether you've got money or not. The other question was if you're based in Lusaka, but you have been operating in, let me say, Choma and Mongu, can you still apply to operate in Choma and Mongu? We are trying to move away from that model of delivery because this is a community-based grant. We want a community-based organization who's based in that province because you have an understanding of the challenges that are there, the needs that are there. You have got good relationship with your local leadership. Not to say that organizations in Lusaka don't, but we want you to have operational and physical presence in the provinces that you're applying for. For social movements, you can have operational presence because it's not mandatory for you to have physical presence, but for a community-based organization, you should have operational and physical presence. So we don't want a head office in Lusaka and people from Lusaka are going to be going to Solwezi to go and implement activities. No. We want people in Solwezi to implement activities in Solwezi. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Also, good afternoon.
What of the organization, the last audit they have is for 2022, but we still have an, can we submit the letters and the audit for 2022? Thank you.
And between 2022 and now, you haven't had any audits?
No, mainly because the activities we've been implementing are more like co-funded. So like you are saying, I think mainly it has been Lusaka people coming to implement, which has been the issue with those activities.
Yes.
The accounts, we have the monthly records, the financial records are there up to date from that time, from 2022 up to date. We have the narrative reports, the financial reports and all that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As Geoffrey mentioned earlier, we also have alternative ways of funding, right? And that's Actionaid, for instance, will manage the money on your behalf and you implement the activities. But for now, all I can say is we are first going to go by the eligibility criteria because that's what we set out to put, and the external body who's going to come and audit this entire process is also going to check whether we had this standard and this is what we followed. Yeah, there might be cases of an exception and that will be a very special case, but for now, we are going by what's in the eligibility criteria. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Okay, so they were saying that send the number.
Person?
Just the last one. Yeah, but like if you have got queries.
It's just a rider on what the previous speaker. Sorry, I didn't get your name apart from Geoffrey. My name is Veronique Malupande from Adaptive Leadership Zambia. So we are in the districts that the call for proposal is asking for. However, on the eligibility criteria, there's a call for having presence with 20 people. Could you please kindly clarify what the 20 people are? Is that volunteer based in the district or province, or is that a staff base that you're requesting for to be present? Thank you.
It's a mix of everything, Veronica. Thank you so much for the question. As long as they have got an affiliation and an association with the organization. So it can be staff, volunteers, associates, interns. Yes.
Thank you.
So the find out my name. The last one, I have a question here, just to ask.
Yes, please go ahead.
My question is, in Zambia, there are a lot of registration bodies who try to register NGOs like PACRA, NYDC, and other bodies which register the NGOs. Are they all eligible, or maybe you have a specific area where some NGOs have to be registered for with this body?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. We are not being specific on which body you should have been registered with. All we're asking for is registration.
Hello,
Thank you
Geoffrey.
very much.
Yes, Daddy.
Hello, Geoffrey.
Yes.
Yes,
Hello,
you
good
can go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Robinson Imfula from Cholinga Youth Zambia. I think I just have 2 questions. So the first one is, in the community action grants category, how many organizations are you looking for? And then the second one is, are we just limited to apply only in one, or maybe as an organization we can also apply as a consortium? Thank you.
You can apply as a consortium. It's allowed. We also encourage cooperation and partnership. It's very important. The first one. The first one, maybe I didn't hear you clearly, Robson.
The first one is, how many organizations are you looking at for the community action grants?
For now, I don't think we are able to give out that specific information. Yeah.
Let's say you are looking.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then we are not any limited to apply in maybe 2 or 1 as an
Hello,
organization.
Chika.
Can we apply as?
You can apply as a consortium as also individuals.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
May I ask
Hello,
Geoffrey
Chika.
and Shiga.
Colleagues, I think.
Good afternoon, Geoffrey.
Good afternoon, yes.
Mr. Matthews, I think we had given you a platform, right?
No, I haven't asked any question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a quick one as well, Mr. Geoffrey.
I had my hand raised. Now I wasn't being given a chance. So now
Okay,
just a question to say, like for example, our organization is undergoing capacity building from a certain organization being Lusaka. Can we apply under that organization as a recipient or as a partner under community grantee? We are based in Kanchiwa district of Mchinga province, where we are operating from. Can we apply under that organization which is doing capacity building with us, knowing that some of our eligibility criteria, especially when in financial audits, we may not have?
You cannot apply under another organization. You can only apply as partners.
Yeah, I'm asking as partner with that.
Yes, maybe partnering, not applying under one organization. Like you are submitting an application, then the other organization submit on your behalf. No, but partnering.
Okay.
Okay, there was another hand.
Mr.
Good
Sinzala.
afternoon. Yes, Geoffrey.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yes, I'm sitting in Mwamlima here in Mchinga province, specifically Kanchibi Shiwangandu district. The executive director for Mchinga Voice of Persons with Disabilities. So I've understood and I've been following all the discussions, but my concern is, for example, as Mchinga Voice, we don't have any
Sorry guys,
audited
there are some people who are
reports.
talking in the background. Can't hear you clearly.
We don't have a report, any audited report, but is it okay to apply as a partnership through the organization which has the audited report? Thank you.
Yes. You let us, Mr. Mwani.
Still trying to see how.
Lima.
It's allowed. You can partner with an organization. Yes. Mamulima, yeah, you can partner with another organization.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sinzala.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sinzala.
Afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Mr. Sinzala, this is Jason Mtasamwanza.
Okay.
Yes, I speak on behalf of Caregivers Association of Zambia. So I'm the president of Caregivers Association of Zambia, which has been operating for over 3 years. However, from the time that we started pursuing registration, we only managed to get registration last year. I may have not gotten most of the points from the beginning, but I just thought maybe I would clarify or I would take this home with me. I wanted to ask, from the time that we've been operating, unregistered, of course, we were under the umbrella of Alliance for Children Everywhere. So we've taken interest in this particular program, and I wanted to ask if we are eligible to apply with a recommendation letter, perhaps from Alliance for Children Everywhere for all the years that we have been operating, or maybe by virtue of us being only granted the certificate of registration last year, we get to be disqualified.
No, you meet the criteria. The only organization that does not qualify is those which have been maybe 2 months ago. So you can apply.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Then we'll do so.
Well, so Wednesday is going to repost the number and also the email. So please note that the team has made the available to respond to your queries. And we really want to appreciate you and wishing you well, even as you start working on your application. We are very grateful that you spent your precious time to come and interact with us. The team will communicate with you. There'll be another physical information session, but if there will be not, please just utilize those contact details for further clarification, and we are at your disposal to make sure that we respond to all the queries. Thank you very much and wishing you well.
Thank you so much, sir. Bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the information.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Zala.
I'm just calling and telling that this person is participant. Well, as we are arguing there, then he comes up. Fuck. You're here.